All right, we will be going over the interior of the Indianapolis Colts offensive line today. We went over the tackles yesterday. We went over all the position groups already. So let's get into the interior offensive line. I'm not excited to. The depth is pretty bad. The starters are very good. Quenton Nelson, Ryan Kelly, incredible. Quenton Nelson, one of the best in the league at what he does. Ryan Kelly's inconsistent, but he's enough. Will Fries, we'll talk about him. So, if you enjoy Colts content, NFL content, make sure you like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. You will not regret it. This is a great community, man. We love talking about football. Discord, Twitter, everywhere. So, let's get into this. Let's not waste too much more of your time. So, we're starting with the third left guard on the depth chart. According to ESPN, there are 3 left guards listed, 2 right guards listed, 3 centers. So, we're going to start with the third left guard in Emil Ecoy Jr. He is the undrafted rookie out of Bama. So he is a bigger guard, and he was expected to be drafted early to late day 3. So that's 4 to 7. But he was really expected to be drafted in 5 to 7. Wasn't drafted at all. Chris Ballard swoops in, wastes no time, gets Emil Ecoy. So I'm excited for him. You know, people were rating him pretty high. Team's not as high, obviously, but he was a very good run blocker. The thing that questions me up here is he doesn't fit the system. He's a bigger guard that can't really move, doesn't really pull. Getting to the second level he struggles with. I'm not sure if he's going to fit the system too well. When you have Shane Steichen coming in who's really going to want to run some zone and, you know, running the quarterback around, you know, design quarterback runs, counters, he may not fit the bill. That may be why he's listed here at 3, because he struggled with pass blocking. He is a pretty dominant run blocker. He struggled with pass blocking, though, pass protection. So, going to have to work on that. Listed at number 3 at the left guard spot. So, next, we are looking at Dakota Shepley, who was the third center listed on the depth chart. Last year, he stepped in a few snaps, I think like 10 snaps, if that. I looked on PFF for the Niners, and it was pretty bad. He was getting pushed around, not really doing much, just creating more negative plays than positive, and that's when you say, yeah, no, he's probably not. They're probably going to cut him. I would bring in other people for some competition, because the Colts depth is pretty bad as it is. And a little bonus here, Dalton Risner, he is a guy that has been brought up within the Colts community that the Colts should look into deciding for right guard. Dalton Risner. The thing is, he's played left guard his entire career with the Broncos. If you're going to bring him in to play right guard, he's never played it before. There's going to be an adjustment period, and you don't know if he's really going to be able to play that at the level he played left guard. Well, we all know who the left guard is. Quenton Nelson starting, end all be all. Even if he doesn't play as well as right guard, it cannot be worse than Danny Pinner, who's being the backup for Will Fries at the moment on the depth chart. I would not mind him as a backup there or left guard. We need the depth. So either way, if he lines up starting right guard or backing up right guard or left guard, I'll take it. Sign Dalton Risner. He's not going to be expensive. Sign him. You need the depth. He's the best guard out there right now, probably. So, little bonus there. Little bonus content. So, next we got Arlington Hambright. He's a third left guard. Did I talk about him? No, we talked about Emil Ecoy and Dakota Shepley. Arlington Hambright. He's left guard 2 at the moment, behind Quenton Nelson. So, he hasn't played a single snap since 2020, when he was drafted in the 7th round by the New England Patriots. He played about 82 snaps that year. His PFF pass blocking grade was like 70.2, but his rush blocking was like 20-something. Yeah, that is bad. Don't know why Chris Ballard would go after someone who can't run block, but is very good at pass blocking. So right now, he is listed ahead of Emil Ecoy Jr., so pretty interested to see that. I think I think it seems like he's going to make the roster, but it doesn't matter what we think now. It's what's going to happen on the field at training camp and in the training camp facility. So I guess we will see. Arlington Hambright, very one-sided tackle according to PFF, but he hasn't played in a full 2021 and 2022. So probably played really poorly in training camp. Just seemed like he's not. And it just goes to show you how bad the depth is on this Colts offensive line. The interior mainly. The tackles are fine. I am not worried about the tackle room. Interior, I am worried about. And when you like to ground and pound the football, Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss, Deion Jackson, or Evan Hull, you better get that interior figured out. Because if Quenton Nelson and Ryan Kelly gets hurt, dear goodness, if I had to see Danny Pinner play, please, no, please. All right, so then we got talk about Arlington Hambright. We got 3. Then Denny Pinner is the second right guard listed. As I just said, I never want to see Denny Pinner at right guard again. I never want to see him at a guard position. Now, a few years ago when the sickness was going around and players, and it hit the Colts around, on the Christmas game when they played the Cardinals, they had like half of the team was out, half of their offensive line was out. He was an average center. He was an all right backup center. When he stepped in, he did his job. You moved him to guard last year. Good God, please. That was like a horror movie. I never want to see Denny Pinner at right guard ever again. Please. Center, let him stay there. I think I've said enough. Okay, I think I've said enough. He just gets pushed around. He doesn't make a positive impact. Then you got Wesley French, who is the second center. Wesley French. We haven't really seen too much of him, so I don't really have too much to say about him. He's played a little bit, and he's looked all right. He played guard a little bit. Nothing too special. I mean, he was so far down the depth chart for a reason. Now he's moved up to second center. So hopefully he can be a decent center. Now, do I think Danny Pinner should probably be a center here? Maybe move Wesley French to backup right guard? I think that might be a better idea. Yeah, I don't really know too much about Wesley. We've seen him play a little bit. He was okay. He wasn't great. All right, moving on from Wesley French. Remember when Wesley French and Will Fries were next to each other in one of the games? French fries. That was pretty cool. All right, then you got Will Fries. Speaking of Will Fries, we have him next on our list. So he is currently listed as the starting right guard, which I don't have a problem with it. Last year when he stepped in at right guard, he got better as the year went on. I mean, he played, he didn't play the full season, but when he stepped in, he was pretty rough right away. But it seemed like he adjusted and he got better as the season went on. So I think right guard is Will Fries' spot to lose. So in training camp, I hope the competition pushes him even more and he becomes an okay right guard. I think he possibly could be. Now, for a while, I've been saying he probably can't, but I mean, we kind of got to have hope in him because we have no one else right now, unless we sign Dalton Risner and give him a chance, which might be a good idea, just bring in the competition. But Will Fries is the starting right guard. He's been on the Colts for a little while now. Very versatile. He can play everywhere. He is a nice piece of the Colts offensive line. Then you have our starting center, and Ryan Kelly has been drafted 2015, is one of the longest tenured Colts right now. He has to be, right? I think he is. Definitely one of the longest. A very good player. Now, he is an elite run blocker. He's a very good run blocker. Pass blocking, it can be rough sometimes. And it seemed like last year he really struggled with communication. But the entire offensive line seemed like they really struggled. So, I mean, I'm not placing it fully on him. He could communicate, but at the end of the day, if the offensive line, if the other guys don't execute, then it's going to look like it was his fault anyways. So I'm giving him the benefit of doubt of that, of the rest of the offensive line just being so poor, so bad. I'm really going to give him the benefit of doubt. He's a very good center, and I think sometimes including myself, I take him for granted. He's better than most centers out there. There aren't a lot of good centers in the NFL right now, and Ryan Kelly is one of the better ones. So I think we got to take it for what it is and just enjoy him because he's been a good guard for us. Will he be with us after this year? I'm not sure because sometimes he isn't consistent, and the big knock is he has injury issues and his run block and his pass blocking is very inconsistent. He sometimes gets overpowered. But hopefully this year, you got a new voice in the room. You have a new offensive line coach. Hopefully he can find some new, inspiration, maybe more reasons to work and just do what he loves. Hopefully, and he's been through a lot with the kid and him and his wife going through that stuff with the kid, losing him, rough, and that's not easy for everyone. But the NFL, you got to step up and you got to come back strong. So very bad situation there, but at the end of the day, he needs to come back and he needs to continue playing at a high level. He needs to find that high level that he did prior to last year. So Ryan Kelly, will he be on the roster after this year? I don't know, and I feel like we should respect him a little more. But at the end of the day, you still got to look for better. So I think Ryan Kelly's going to be here, and he's definitely a good enough center for this year. Absolutely, if he can stay healthy. That's the thing. He struggles to stay healthy, and as I've already mentioned, offensive line depth is not ideal. So hopefully Ryan Kelly could stay healthy. When you move on to Big Q, Quenton Nelson, the nastiest guards one of the nastiest offensive linemen in the National Football League. You see people often making highlights for him. He's making his own highlights, and not many guards and offensive linemen make highlights for themselves, but Quenton Nelson does it on a pretty consistent basis. Just in general, he did have a down year last year. It hurts a little bit that he had a down year, and to see him not do as well, but the whole offensive line, the whole team didn't play well. And now, like I mentioned earlier, there's a new voice in the room, Shane Steichen. He's going to push these guys and keep everyone accountable. And hopefully this helps everyone, but hopefully this helps Quenton Nelson get back to prior last year for him, because it seems like every year since his rookie year, he's went down a little bit, but that's not saying much because he's still been all-pro 3 years in a row. Not last year. I think he was still a Pro Bowler last year. So having a down year and still being a Pro Bowler is pretty damn impressive. So we'll take it. Quenton Nelson, man, I hope you come back this year. And, I fully believe he will. He's one of those players that, if he has a down year, he will come back stronger. So don't worry about Quenton Nelson. I'm not going to keep saying too much about him because we already know he's one of the best offensive linemen in the league, if not the best. Really love Quenton Nelson. Thank you for being a Colt, because he really brings a nastiness to this offensive line that it didn't have before him. You really see the difference in it, and the nasty energy spreads. So, Quenton Nelson, the starting left guard, the best offensive lineman, one of the best offensive linemen in the National Football League. You guys let me know about what you think about this interior offensive line group. It's a little rough at times. It's a little scary. It's not the greatest of rooms, but, depth chart, they're, depth anyways. I think the 3 starters are average or better. I think all 3 starters are good enough. And Quenton Nelson, top of the league. Ryan Kelly, very solid at what he is good at. Needs to work on pass block and be more consistent. In injuries, hopefully he gets better with that. But Will Fries could be average. I think he could be an average right guard maybe. So I want you guys to give me your thoughts. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe. Put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. This community is awesome, man. I love it myself. I'm really happy of what we are building here. Not just me. You guys are the kind of the boss. You guys really bring an element to the show of, it's just worth doing. So that's all I got for you guys today. That's all. This is JDW Sports Talk Show. Signing off. I can't do that.